Hey, I'm so glad that you stopped by today, and I appreciate you choosing to watch my video. I am making a junk journal out of a butter box, which is very small, but I have a lot of scraps. One of these videos I will show you my scrap box so that you can see just how many scraps that I'm dealing with here. So I decided what I would do is work on making this little junk journal and just spend like 10 minutes every day or 2 days or whatever I can fit in my schedule and work in it, video that, and then show that to you guys. So that's what I'm doing here is the prep work on all of the papers, and some of them are coffee stains, some of them are just pretty packaging, but they're all out of my scrap box. So I have this old flat iron that I will use to go through and smooth the papers out as much as I can. This one I was working with was extremely crinkled, and you're going to see on this blue tissue paper here at one point the curling iron, or the heat, excuse me, the flat iron was a little bit too hot and it tears off one of the corners, but it works out fine because the butter box is so small that I still had plenty of material left to use for a page. So on portions of this, I will do a voiceover, and then when it's pretty self-explanatory what's happening on the video, I will just shut my voice down and allow you to watch in silence or put a little bit of music on or whatever you want to do. So here I am. I've got all the papers chosen for what I'm going to use in this journal. And I will get out my butter box here in just a few minutes. There it is. And I wind up cutting off all of those tabs on the end of it. And I will split it because it's too wide for what I want to do. So you're going to see there I've split it. And what I ended up doing was taking a piece of scrap white paper, and I'm going to like weld the two pieces of the butter box together so that it makes a little bit of a thinner spine than what the side of that butter box was going to be. Here I'm doing this. I'm going to fumble around and try to find my tacky glue, but I eventually do find it, and that's what I use to put the butter box together. And I apologize, my filming techniques are not very good yet. I'm just getting started, and a lot of times I think I'm a little bit out of the center of the frame, but I'm figuring all that out. I'll get it straightened out hopefully by the time I get about 40 videos on there. Maybe I'll be in frame all the time. We'll see how that works out. That black and orange thing that you see there, it's actually a card detailer tool, and it's what they use when they apply the film on the inside of cars. You know, what do they call it? The tinting film that they put on car windows. The orange side is like a felt material. It's real soft. And then the black side is a hard plastic. So you'll see that throughout the making of this little journal that I will use that orange side whenever I'm working with paper that's fairly thin and I don't want to tear it. And then on things that I can press a little bit harder, like this butter box, that's when I use the black side of it, the hard plastic side of it. And here I'm measuring the butter box, the insides of it, to see what size that I need to cut the papers. And here pretty soon I do speed up the videos so that it's not completely boring sitting there watching me do all the cutting and everything. Some of those papers were really, really thin. So I had to be careful. My cutting board, I've changed the knife in it, but sometimes, like on this paper here, you just have to press it down hard and you have to go slow to get it to cut right. That paper there is hard to work with too. It's newsprint paper, and I wet it and I wadded it and I opened it up and then I put my tea stain on it and then I wadded it and let it dry. But the it's like the fibers in that newsprint almost swelled so that it was like the thickness of a paper towel whenever it dried, and it's kind of hard to work with there. I'm just cutting these papers up. I don't use all of them in the journal because I know it's going to be pretty small and it's not going to take that many papers. But these are the papers that I have, and I'm back to normal speed now. I'm just going to fold them in half, and then you're going to see me fitting them into the journal itself, which what I don't show you here is that I actually made them a little wider than they should have been. So after I finish this video, I actually go through and I have to trim all of the edges of those papers to make them a little bit more narrow. I don't know how I mismeasured that, but I sure did. Here's where I'm putting together in signatures. There's no rhyme or reason for it. I just was putting papers in a signature there. I'm certain that whenever I go to make the journal, I'm probably going to move the pages around a little bit more because of decorating. You know, what I decide to put on them is going to kind of dictate what order I want them in. When you saw me do my hands in the number 5, that was reminding me that I decided to make 2 signatures of 5 papers, so a total of 20 pages in this tiny little Butterbox journal. And by the end of it, I use up a lot of scraps. I really do. So now those pages there, I'm just going to put off to the side in case I need them at some other point, if I decide that I want to add another page or if I want to use them for decorating. I'll have them on hand. But there, and you can see where it's too wide. I do wind up tearing the top and the bottom of that longer gray packing paper. But then off camera afterwards, like I said, I realized it was just too wide, and I had to take my scissors and just cut all of those papers down even a little more narrow to make them fit correctly. So that's about it for this one, and I appreciate you stopping and watching. I don't know how often I will be able to work in the Butterbox, but whenever I do, I'll be posting videos, so if you want to keep up with it, just make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell, and it'll let you know the next time I have one ready. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day.